Hello friends, so pretty sure you can see the pile of clothes I ordered. Yep, let's just move it. Let's pretend that didn't happen. There we go, out of sight, out of mind, eh? How are you doing? So I thought it would be a good idea to have a little chatty catch up. I love watching these kind of videos and I get a lot of questions all the time about my job and how I created my job and loads of things to do with my job. So I thought this Q&A could hopefully answer your questions. I asked for questions on Instagram, so if you don't follow me over there, make sure you do for future videos, and you also get sneak peeks of products, and I'll do some polls so you can have a say on products. So just saying. So a lot of questions were, how did you create your business? And I wish there was like this big secret cool story, but to be honest, I just created it. So a little bit of backstory for any new people out there. Basically, I finished university, I graduated in 2018. I left uni in April, and pretty much as I left, I was still doing YouTube and I was feeling a bit lost, didn't really know what to do, but knew I liked designing things, I liked designing logos, I liked just drawing like portrait commissions for people, so I kind of just continued doing that. And I guess it's just built up from there. I've always had an idea to kind of sell my own stuff. I thought it was really cool seeing things that I've designed in other people's hands. And I've done a little bit of that previously. I did a few like merch pieces whilst I was at uni, but I decided to do it like properly. I didn't want it to be like the Alice Thorpe brand. So that's where I created Soul and Fire. So yeah, Soul and Fire was born. I created Soul and Fire this past September, so September 2019. It took quite a while for me to have the guts to actually do it. I found that I kept putting it off because I was scared of it not being perfect. I was scared of, I don't know, wasting my money and wasting my time. But I figured I'm never going to know if I don't try, so I just kind of did it and took the risk, used my savings to sort of create my first lot of merch. And, well, it's not merch, I don't like calling it merch. My first products, let's say, because I like to keep Soul and Fire pretty much its own thing. So yeah, that's sort of where it started. There's no like big business plan. I just like making things. Maybe I should probably have a business plan, but I'm just seeing how it goes. And a lot of people say it takes 2 years to build a business, and obviously the shop's not been open for that long. Right now, it's most definitely a side hustle. It doesn't earn money that I could live on, so obviously I don't feel qualified to give advice on owning a shop. I'm just doing it and seeing what happens and filming it as I go. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Obviously, recently I just brought out some enamel pins and also some greeting cards, so yeah, I'm really excited to sort of expand the range further. I've got a few ideas and tricks up my sleeve that I'm going to start working on hopefully this week. So yeah, keep an eye on my social medias. But yeah, that's really how I started it. There wasn't really any big life-changing moment that I thought, I'm going to do this. I'd just been thinking about it for a while. A few people have asked where I got the name from for Soul and Fire. So let me just get one of the cards out. Oh, there's one up here. So my all-time favourite quote is this. It is, "Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire." I saw this probably like 3 years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, and I loved it a lot. And for those of you OG subscribers, when I like did uni vlogs and stuff, I created my own little hoodie, and on that hoodie it said "Be fearless," and that is where it came from. It came from this quote. My first set of like desk planners said "Be fearless" on the top. It was all kind of centered around this little card. Not this little card, this little quote. So when I was thinking of names for Soul and Fire, I was thinking of like one word names. Honestly, it took me so long. I knew I was opening a shop. I had their website ready. I didn't have a name. So I was just kind of brainstorming ideas. I'm sure I can find a note on my phone or something with loads of names, random words. I'd think of like what I thought was a really cool word, and then I'd Google it and realised it already existed. So I'd have to go back to the drawing board. And then I sort of kind of came full circle and remembered this quote, and the last bit says "Soul on Fire." So I just changed it to Soul and Fire, and I thought it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of had a ring to it. I quite enjoyed how it sounded. I like my products to have soul and meaning and a bit of spark, so maybe that could be like an inner, bit of a deeper meaning to it. But really, it all came from this quote. I send this postcard in all of my parcels as a little bonus little thing to have, because this is the quote that kind of started it all. How do you know you're good enough to start selling commissions? To be honest, I think any time is a good time to start, as long as you're happy with the work you're producing. Obviously, you're never going to be 100% happy. I'm always really self-critical of my own work. That's generally why, if you ever look around my office, you'll see that I don't actually have much of my work out, because the longer I look at it, the more I hate it. I don't know if that's normal, but yeah, I'm really self-critical, and I feel like a lot of creative people probably are the same. So yeah, there's no time like the present. If you like drawing, and if someone's told you they like your drawings, then there's going to be someone out there who would be happy to pay you to draw for them. Maybe as you're beginning, do a few little like favours for friends. So I don't know, maybe your friends are getting married and they want a little doodle of the two of them on their invite or something. You could do that doodle free of charge, and then obviously everyone who sees that invite could possibly want to pay you for work. There's a big stigma around doing sort of free work at the beginning, but I think it's really important to kind of develop your portfolio and develop yourself. It gets you used to dealing with clients without the pressure of the money behind it. I find that a lot of the time that having money involved takes the fun out of a lot of creative stuff, and that's why it's important to sort of learn as you go and sort of, I don't know, offer your services for free while you're learning. If you feel like you don't want to charge yet, don't. But also know your own value. Know when the right time is to say, actually, no, I think you should pay me for this. No time like the present. Honestly, just go for it. And did you have a clear business plan when you started? No, and I never have, but maybe I should. I feel like I need an advisor to help me out. I just wing it. How did you get started doing what you do? So I already had my YouTube channel. I created my YouTube channel when I left school. So that was like 2011? No. Year 11, 2013, when I was in sixth form. So right as I left sixth form, I started my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel has been going for a long old while now. It's been 7 years. So through that, I sort of built an audience who were interested in me and what I did. And then obviously through that, I've built an Instagram audience who also are interested in me and what I'm doing. So when it came to the time of me looking into sort of creating a business and selling products, I already had that fan base that I'd been working on for so many years to sort of test them out with. And I'd say that's the majority of the people who buy products from me. I don't really do marketing as such. Like, I don't pay for Facebook adverts. I don't pay for Instagram adverts. I've tried it in the past, but I find generally social media is the best way for me to go about it. So I'm really just harnessing those people that I initially built up. Frustratingly, a lot of people think I've got it easy because I do have a bit of a following. I mean, I've literally got no... In the grand scheme of things, there's not actually that many people that follow me. But a lot of people do think, oh, well, it's easy for her. She's already got people looking at her products. But those people are people that I have built from scratch. So as much as imposter syndrome comes in at a time thinking, oh my God, am I doing this right? Like, why me? Like, you know, all those kind of thoughts. I have to remember that I built those people up. There's a reason those people subscribed, and the only reason they subscribed is because of the stuff I make. So gotta give myself credit, you know? I can't even remember what the question was from that one. I just kind of went on a bit of a tangent. But I did mention imposter syndrome, and for me, imposter syndrome is thinking, like, when I get a good opportunity or when something good happens to me, I feel like I'm not qualified enough to accept it. Like, a lot of people ask me for advice on running a business, and I feel like a bit of a fraud. I feel like I am not qualified enough to give advice. I've never been formally trained as a graphic designer or an illustrator. I've never gone on a business course. I am just winging it, and I have been from the age of 16 when I made my little photography business when I started. So yeah, I feel like that is imposter syndrome, and I get that quite a lot. It's kind of difficult to really realise the stuff that I know. I feel like a lot of the things I do is sort of second nature to me now. So someone wanting to have advice, I don't even know where to start. I'm just winging it. But yeah, I feel like that is imposter syndrome. If someone asked me what it was, overcoming it, I think it helps now that I have, obviously my parents are always going to be on my side. They're always going to tell me I'm doing great, whether I am or whether I'm not. Most of the time, they'll tell me when I've done something bad. But having a manager is actually really good because it's kind of an outsider's perspective, and he sort of validates me, tells me that I'm doing good, and actually makes me realise that I have developed all this knowledge and this following myself, and I deserve the credit. I feel like I'm just my own worst critic, you know. Someone's asked me how to make friends as a self-employed person, and I don't have an answer for that. I am the world's biggest introvert, so if anyone out there wants to be my friend, lives close to Doncaster, let me know, because I spend a lot of time in my house, in my office, by myself, which I very much enjoy, but I also know the value of having close friends. I have a couple of friends in the local area, but I sort of want some friends in the creative field too, so hit me up. Your prints are amazing quality. I want to start selling my own. Where do you get them printed? Okay, so I get asked a lot where I get my products made. And I've always been very, very hesitant to share where I get my products made, because I sort of mix up suppliers a lot and I just sort of hope for the best when they arrive. So I don't really want to recommend a supplier because I've not used one for long enough to sort of really appreciate what they do and like trust what they do. I've had bad experiences, I've had products arrive and I've had to sort of take the bill and just throw out a bunch of products that aren't sellable or saleable. So I don't really want to recommend a business to you unless I completely have 100% trust in them. What I'd say is just look online, compare prices, look at the reviews. That's basically all I do. I make a big spreadsheet of what the prices are like, and I sort of hit a middle ground. I don't want to buy the cheapest ones, but I obviously don't want to buy the most expensive ones. I obviously at the end of the day need to make money from it. I sort of pick a middle ground, see if they fit all my needs, order them, cross my fingers, and hope to God that they're okay, because if they're not, that's a lot of money out of my pocket. What I will definitely 100% recommend is my packaging suppliers, because I have never once had an issue with those and I've ordered from them multiple times. So I use EcoCraft for my like plastic cello bag things. They're biodegradable, fully eco-friendly. I use them. I've ordered so many bags from those people. They're really quick delivery, and I think they're quite a small personal business because when I email them, they reply straight away. So I definitely recommend those guys. They sell lots of different things like envelopes and card and loads of stuff. And also I recommend, what's it called? I forgot. Lil Packaging. Lil Packaging. So that is a bit of a bigger business and they sell fully recyclable, great eco green packaging products. So all my like cards, like I'm looking at my office to try and remember. So like all the envelopes that I use, the boxes that I use, stuff like that, that all comes from Lil Packaging. And again, they're really good prices. I've not really found a supplier that's better prices, because I mean, I can find a supplier that's better prices, but I'm not 100% trustful that they are actually eco-friendly. So I go with Lil Packaging for that reason. So I definitely recommend those. Camera cut off. So I definitely recommend those too. I will leave those in the description. If I think of another brand that I'm happy to recommend, I will let you know. But in general, for products, I've mixed it up that often. I've had mixed sort of experiences with them. So I'm going to like hold off on recommending anything until I've found the number one supplier, and then I will let you know. How did you set up your website? So I don't know which website you're referring to. I have two. I have Alice Thorpe, the website, and I have Soul and Fire. So Soul and Fire is a Shopify website. It's e-commerce. It's solely made to sell things. That's a whole different website. Very complicated to set up. Previously, I've used, I can't even remember, Big Cartel, I think, is one of the websites I used before. You can use Etsy. There are many cheaper versions of Shopify that you can use, but because obviously I wanted to be a little bit more profesh, I pay for Shopify, and I'm quite enjoying it so far. There's a few niggly things that wind me up, but it's the best platform at the moment that I can find. So that's what I use for that one. For my personal website, I use Squarespace. I absolutely love Squarespace so much. It's so simple. It's literally drag and drop. You want to change a page, you just click around and drag it. There's no real coding involved. If you don't want there to be, you can include your own coding and change things if you're technical enough, which I am not. So yeah, I just use a basic drag and drop. Blah, blah, blah. Squarespace also has a shop section, which I used for a little bit. It's good, it's basic, but it does the job. So you can also go via that if you want to start selling things on your website. It's good for blogs and it's really easy. There's a free trial and stuff, so I will leave it linked in the description. I absolutely love Squarespace so much. Please work with me, Squarespace. Honestly, I'm like your biggest fan. So yeah, I pay for 2 websites, which is a lot of money, but I feel like it's worth it because obviously my entire job involves being online, so I feel like it's worth investing into a bit of a online presence rather than relying on the free social media accounts that could one day get deleted. Do you know what? Going off on a tangent, that's one thing that very much scares me so much, is the fact that there's like 55,000 of you guys now watching my videos, and YouTube could decide tomorrow to delete the platform. Then what do I do? So that was another big reason as to why I started Soul on Fire. I wanted to have a bit of a backup plan. That's also another reason I started my Alice Thorpe website. I've got my newsletter. Because I read a lot when I left uni and I was feeling a bit lost, that it's important to build up a fan base that you have control over. So like YouTube, I don't really have control over those subscribers. YouTube could delete all my subscribers like that, and the majority of them wouldn't look for me again. They wouldn't find me. They'd kind of forget about it, which is fair enough. However, with my email subscribers, they've kind of definitely clicked on it. They have read my emails. I can see who opens them, who doesn't. When they get bored of my emails, they can unsubscribe. And I feel like getting an email is a lot more personal. Like generally in the morning, you'll wake up, check your emails. At night before bed, you'll check your emails. It's more of like a habit, as opposed to YouTube and Instagram and stuff is a bit of a treat. And especially recently, people are trying to not use social media as much. So I've spent a lot of time this past couple of years, past couple of months, maybe a year, sort of building up a bit of like a newsletter base, kind of. Does that make sense? Maybe I could go into that in another video. I'm still learning, but I use MailChimp to send newsletters to people. And I feel like those people who read my newsletters are the people that are most invested in me as a person and what I'm doing, because it is very personal, allowing me into your inbox. If you aren't subscribed to my newsletter, here's the link. Do you ever find it lonely working for yourself or on your own? I do. So I work from home. I still live with my parents, so I work in the spare room. This is my office, and I find it super lonely. I very much enjoy when my parents come home, but I am also very much an introvert, and I get my energy from being by myself. So it kind of works, pros and cons. There are times when all I want to do is just kind of like chat with a friend, or, you know, I get jealous of people having like office parties and being able to go down to the pub with their work friends. Obviously, I don't have work friends in that sort of sense. So that does make me a bit jealous, and I get lonely in that sense. However, the perks of working for myself sort of outweigh the cons for me. I know a lot of people won't be able to get along with it, but I very much enjoy setting my own schedule. I wake up at a different time every day. I work more in the evenings because that's when I'm most productive. And if I want to take 2 days out of work in the middle of the week, I can, and I feel like that's sort of worth it. But yeah, I do wish I did have the sort of like office vibe, work pal environment, because other than my YouTube pals that all live all over the country and like a couple of school friends and a couple of family friends, I don't really have that like little close-knit pal relationship, which is quite lonely. From a fellow work from a work from home-aholic, I like that. How do you find some sort of balance? Well, so I think I'm getting better at this. I used to be really, really bad, and I'd sit in my office all day, or in like before I had this office, I'd work in my bedroom or downstairs. So I'd sit on my laptop in the corner on the sofa all day, probably from like when I woke up, maybe like 10. I don't wake up at 10, that's when I pick my laptop up. I'm not that lazy. From when I pick my laptop up at 10, and then it's just so easy to kind of go on to the next job, go on to the next job, go on to the next job. Whereas now I'm a little bit more strict. So for example, this week I've written myself a hefty to-do list, and I've split it up into like days of the week. Yesterday at about 4:30, I'd finished all of that day's jobs, and I sort of went to my kickboxing class, came back, and I was like, I feel like I should do work. But then I reminded myself that today's a long day. Today's a filming day. I'm going to probably be working until like 8-9 p.m. tonight. So letting myself finish work at 4:30 yesterday was my balance. So like last night I spent some time scrolling for some new bedding. I was looking at like online shopping. I ordered some clothes, which I had to hide at the beginning of the video. You know, that was like me time, and I'm getting a little bit better at the balance. I realise I don't work very well into the 9 to 5 structure. One, because I never want to wake up that early. I can sometimes, and when I do, it's completely fine, but the thought of waking up early every morning makes me want to cry. Which I'm sure is the same for a lot of people who have office jobs. But because I have that flexibility, and because I know I work in the evenings better, I let myself start work later. And right now, while I don't have a family or anything like my own family, I'm going to do that. And also, I'm getting better at giving myself the weekend off. So I'll take a couple of days off, and I don't know, maybe some weekends I'll end up working through the weekend, so I make sure I take a day in the middle of the week to have some time off. I just kind of let it balance itself out, and it's sort of a learning process. Although the one thing I need to get better at is scrolling on my phone, but I feel like that applies to everyone, even the people that aren't self-employed, because obviously with my phone, my Instagram account is on my phone, my YouTube account is on my phone, and it has become such a habit for me just to open my phone, check my YouTube comments, look at my Instagram comments, sort of check if my shop's got any orders, and I can do that all on my phone. So even if it's 10 p.m, I could technically still be working. That's what I need to get better at. Maybe that means I need like a business phone, but to be honest, I don't think that'll help the situation. I think that's just a bit of self-discipline that's needed. So tips for balance: write out your to-do list, stick to it, allow yourself some time off when you need it. If in the middle of the day you can't work, you physically just can't, go and get some fresh air, go and binge watch an episode of Cheer on Netflix. Absolutely love that program. And just have some time for you, and don't feel guilty about it, because there's always tomorrow, and because you're setting your own sort of goals, it's okay to have to adjust them. Like, that would happen in a normal business, so it's okay to happen in yours. Okay, let's find a last question or two. I feel like I've babbled on a lot. I'm not sure if I've covered everything that a lot of people ask me about, but if I haven't, let me know in the description, not in the description, the comments, and I will reply to you and hopefully be able to help you out that way. But like I said, I feel like I'm not qualified enough. My imposter syndrome hits me bad. I'm just vlogging and filming my life being a designer, so you can kind of see me struggling through it. Oh, I've been asked about like my graphic design essentials, so like software, hardware, iPad camera, all that stuff. Would you like a video on that? I'm happy to do that maybe in the next couple of weeks, so let me know if you'd like a full video on the stuff that I use. Do you struggle to switch off from work, especially when it's literally on your phone? Yes. You know, Jade, you know. Ooh, I sometimes feel bad about not having an important job. For example, a teacher or a doctor. Is it just me? I felt like that, you know, when I left uni. I left uni and sort of, I'd been vlogging about my university life for 3 years, and I didn't really know what to do. I didn't want to just be another YouTube channel that does 24-hour challenge videos or dyeing my hair purple for a day. Do you know, like just random entertaining videos. Like, I enjoy watching them, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to create something with a little bit more substance. I wanted my videos to be a bit more long-standing, something that you could revisit and sort of learn from, even if it's a bit passive, like maybe from my studio vlogs. It's not necessarily full teaching, but it's quite chill and you might learn something at the same time. So I definitely, when I first sort of left uni and realised I felt like my job wasn't important. I felt like it didn't have any substance to it. It didn't have any meaning to it. And you just kind of watched it and left and didn't learn anything from it. You know, I want people to be able to take things away. So, answer to your question, I feel the same. Sometimes I feel bad about not having an important job. But obviously I don't know what your career is. For me, graphic design is important. It's not necessary per se, but it is important, because every single thing you look at pretty much has graphic design. So maybe you're on a bus and there's adverts, or on the side of the bus, or packaging. So your face cream you use in the morning, that's graphic design. The graphics on a computer, that's graphic design. I'm literally looking around my room. Literally pretty much everything has an element of graphic design to it. These prints, graphic design. All things have sort of design in there, and the world probably wouldn't function very well without graphic design in it. So that's what I like to think for my job. In terms of my YouTube, I like to tell myself, or I like to sort of hopefully ensure that people take things away from my videos, and it's not just aimlessly watching a challenge video because you're bored. It's sort of watching a video to curb the boredom, but also learning something, even if you don't realise you are. That's the kind of stuff I want to do. So yeah, I completely understand the not feeling like you've got an important job, but really every job is important. Every job keeps the world turning and keeps things going. Okay, final question. Any tips on how to stay focused on your career? Self-taught artist here. Hi, nice to meet you. So focused on your career. I feel lost very easily, and I'm not very good at setting goals. However, I have learned if you have an idea in your head and you write it down or you type it up in your phone and you put a date next to it, that makes it a goal. Not even necessarily a date, but I have a list on my phone of future ideas that I've thought of that I'm not sure when I'll create or complete, or if I ever will complete them, but I write them down anyway. And sort of looking at them helps me sort of reignite my ideas, because I sort of get kind of wrapped up in the day-to-day, like doing commissions, doing logos, creating videos, editing videos, writing the subtitles, and I sort of forget why I'm doing it. So having that list of sort of overall ideas really helps me out. That helps me sort of focus on my career. I also have a list of things I've achieved. So I have like a 2019 one. I think I started it in 2017. And it's just bullet points of fun, exciting things that have happened to me in life or in work or both in bullet point form, because you'll forget. I generally forget what I've done, and it's sort of hard to see the progress. So by reading my achievements, I sort of see the cool stuff I've done because of my job, and I'm like, oh wait, this job's cool. I'm actually doing cool things. I'm not just sat in my room repeating my day every single day, even though sometimes it is like that. So yeah, I'd say record your achievements, set yourself some goals. I've been recording for that long, my camera keeps cutting off. Yeah, record your achievements, set yourself some goals, follow other people that inspire you. So if you're very much a social media kind of person, follow other people that do the things you'd like to be doing. Don't follow people that make you feel bad because you're not doing enough. Follow those people who sort of offer inspiration and offer motivation to you. Like, check in with yourself maybe once a month. I like to sort of reevaluate what I'm doing. I need to do this more actually, but reevaluate where I'm at, what I want to do, and if it's working. I need to definitely do that more. I need to take my own advice. And maybe even write yourself a 5-year plan. I have been told to write one many times, but I haven't, because I am scared of planning things in case they don't go right. Yeah, that is my parting advice for you. If you are also wanting to be a designer or an illustrator or something creative, just practice, follow like-minded people, learn from as many things and as many resources as you can. That's what I try and do. Listen to podcasts, read blog articles, literally anything, and just believe in your own talent, and just know that the more you practice, the better you'll get. I hope you enjoyed this very, very long video. Hopefully I've not bored you to death. If you got to the end of this video, please let me know what kind of career you are doing or would like to do. I'm interested to know whether it's just creative people watching this, or maybe you're a nurse and you watch my videos. I don't know, I'm interested. So let me know that down in the comments. Even if you're a silent viewer, I see you. Please comment. Thanks for watching. I'll shut up now, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye!